through a combination of horrible mismanagement and bad luck from other teams, this era of basketball might have accidentally created the team that is in a far, far better position than any other team in the history of the sport.
I feel like Shai is the second best guard in the league, behind Luka, but I mean, it's very debatable. Me personally, I really think Shai is better than Luka.
The Thunder, who inevitably became the most dominant team in the sport.
We're gonna beat the Warriors 73-9 record. Our defense suffocates teams, bro. Like, we're just tryhards. The NBA is panicking, but there's nothing they can do. Honestly, man, this past month of the NBA has been crazy, y'all. The Pistons are doing good this year. And the Thunder, we've only lost one game to the Blazers. I don't like y'all whatsoever. But we're 23-1 this season. Hey, let me know in the comments if we're going back to the championship and we're gonna win it all, man. Shout out to Andy Hoops for this video. We're gonna just get straight into it. If you haven't already, join Mazin Members.
The league is in a panic about the Thunder owning the Clippers picks these next couple of years. This year outright, next year via swap.
Back in May of 2025, I made this video. NBA parity is at an all-time high, but is it good for everyone? In that video, I talked about how there's been 7 different champions in 7 consecutive years. And in April of 2023, with the implementation of the second apron luxury tax, it created a severe penalty for teams trying to keep their core together. On paper, this seemed like a good idea. The NBA was moving towards an era of parity, giving every team a better shot at winning the title by diluting the talent across many teams.
Crosses over on Beverly. Float game for the win! And one! Tyrese!
In reality, however, through a combination of horrible mismanagement and bad luck from other teams, this era of basketball might have accidentally created the team that is in a far, far better position than any other team in the history of the sport. How did this happen, and how did it get to this point? Let's take a detailed look at everything that led.
No glaze, bro, but Shai is so tough. I feel like Shai is the second best guard in the league. Like, behind Luka, but I mean, it's very debatable. Me personally, I really think Shai is better than Luka, but a lot of people would think that Luka's better than Shai. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. But yeah, Shai been doing good. My favorite player, Russell Westbrook on the Kings. He's been hooping too. He just dropped a triple-double, I think, last night he dropped a triple-double against the Pacers last night without Tyrese Halliburton. I hope he gets better. Do y'all think he might be the same player again? Who knows? Or Tatum too, bro.
To this.
You really just saw how deep this team is. Did tonight's win once again emphasize that with some key guys out?
Yeah.
And the Dallas Mavericks, for the second time in 3 years, are going to the Western Conference Finals.
Not too long ago, in 2024, the Dallas Mavericks defeated the Thunder in the playoffs, and then lost to the Celtics in the finals. At this point in time, the general perception across the league was the parity was at an all-time high. I mean, you had so many young, rising teams led by different superstars, with different skill sets, and a strong.
And it's so crazy to see. I'm gonna keep letting the video play, but it's so crazy to see how like Euro players are actually running the NBA league. Giannis, I think Giannis is still injured. I don't know, but Giannis, Luka, Shai, Jokic, like those are 4 Euro players. Wemby, Segun, like that's 6, bro. Like, and those are like top 15, top 10, 5, 10, 15 players in the league, bro.
Cast of role players. It seemed inevitable the Mavericks and Thunder would compete at the top of the West for years to come. And the Celtics, of course, seemed like they were in a dominant position in the East. But then, tragedy struck. A year later, the Celtics lost Tatum to a devastating torn Achilles. Then, the front office had a tough decision to make. They realized with his injury, the Celtics would be out of contention for a while, and with the looming penalty of the second apron tax, they could not keep their roster intact. So they were forced to trade away Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis in deals that were basically salary dumps so they can avoid the additional tax. The Pacers, another strong contender who quickly rose up the ranks, also saw their superstar suffer a torn Achilles. And the Mavs made possibly the worst trade of this generation. Might be the worst in history, which I'm sure you've heard enough about.
Oh god.
Basically, this horrendous decision by Nico Harrison,
Mavs so ass, dog.
combined with the unfortunate injury timing of other contenders, it created a power vacuum in the league. A vacuum that can only be filled by the Thunder, who inevitably became the most dominant team in the sport.
Facts.
However, that's
Bro, this might sound crazy, y'all. We're gonna beat the Warriors 73-9 record. Like the odds of us having 74-8 is really high, bro. No cap. Like, because you gotta think the amount of points that we're beating teams by, and then also you gotta think like our defense is suffocates teams, bro. Like we're just tryhards. Literally, one of my homeboys, he's a Rockets fan because he's a big KD fan, bro. He was like, the only team that could possibly beat us, like that has a good chance of beating us, is us, the Thunder. Simple. We're just the best team in the league, bro. No cap. And I feel like we're really building a dynasty for real. And it's crazy, like the start of the season, we was really whooping teams' ass. I mean, we beat the Rockets by like 1 point, which is the first game of the season. We didn't even have J-Dub. And even like I think it was even we played, I forgot who we played. I think it was the Kings. I think it was either the Kings or it was the or I think it was the Warriors. We didn't even have Shea, bro. My shit's so off. But yeah, like we were beating teams even without Shea. So that means that that's how you know we're still good as a team, bro. We don't even need our superstar to even win games. I mean, if we're playing a challenging team like the Pistons or the fucking like any top 5 ranking team that's in the league, of course it's going to be terrible, but you know.
only one part of the equation. This was the infamous Paul George trade that happened back in 2019. We all know this turned out to be a fantastic deal for OKC, but the aftermath of this single trade is even more
Nigga, PG fell off so bad. Oh my god.
favorable for OKC than you might think. So at the time this trade happened, OKC blew up their roster. They got rid of George along with Westbrook as well.
Facts.
While the best player they got in return was unequivocally Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, in hindsight, nobody predicted he'd become one of the best players in the league. It wasn't him that made this trade so lopsided, but the massive haul of draft picks in return. At the time, these picks were situational, but it looks like most of these situational picks they have will convey to OKC. Some of these older picks turned into core pieces of the franchise like Jalen Williams. But it's all of their 2026 and 2027 first rounders that turned this trade from being amazing to impossible for any other team to catch up to them. In 2026, they own 3 first-round picks.
That's fucking
their own,
crazy.
Utah, and the Clippers unprotected.
Oh my
first-round
god,
pick.
bro.
With how bad they've been, this is potentially a very, very good pick.
Facts.
In 2027, they also have 3 first-round picks. The Spurs and Nuggets picks are protected, but they're not fully protected, and OKC will most likely get both of them. Most importantly, the 3rd pick they have that year is the ever-so-valuable pick swap with the Clippers. Since the Clippers franchise is on the verge of collapse and their team is falling down the standings, it's likely that by 2027, they'll be so bad that
Chris Paul got fucking waived? Yeah, bro, this is about time to retire. One of the best point guards of all time, arguably top 5. Time to hang it up, buddy. You had it on the Clippers, you had it on the New Orleans Hornets. Time to hang it up, buddy.
He might be a bottom 5 team in the league and gets a very, very high pick.
At this point,
Imagine
Chris Paul could actually be a good coach, though. I'm not gonna lie. I could see him being like a good coach.
being on pace to win over 70 games and establishing a dynasty, and still be awarded with a top 5 pick in the draft. It's unprecedented. Well, maybe not totally unprecedented. It kinda happened before, back in 1986.
I've been a Celtics fan all my life. I like the Celtics. Number 1.
The Boston Celtics won 67 games and the championship, then immediately got awarded with the 2nd pick of the 86 draft, Len Bias. With his death, however, it meant the Celtics didn't exactly benefit from this pick.
That's true.
Regardless, these two teams are not comparable. By 1986, all of the Celtics' major guys were in their late 20s or early 30s, basically in the middle of their primes or slowly regressing. Whereas the Oklahoma City Thunder
are a young team and they're thriving. Like, come on, bro. We're literally the best team in the league. No glaze.
have yet to hit their primes.
Exactly.
Oh, and they also have 4 more first-round picks from 2028 until 2030. Essentially, most of the blame goes to the rest of the league, and especially the Clippers, for being so incompetent that they built this monster of a team.
Yeah,
The
Clippers
whole
dumb as
purpose
hell.
of the second apron luxury tax.
They thought Paul George is actually gonna be fucking. I'm sorry, I'm pausing y'all, but it's crazy to say how they thought Paul George is actually gonna be fucking good. Nigga was regressing. And don't get me wrong, Paul George is still a great basketball player. Don't get me wrong, but in the NBA, he's just tanking. You know, like he already had his prime with the Pacers and with the Thunder. Because I ain't gonna lie, that on the Thunder he was good as hell. I ain't gonna fake it.
Is to prevent teams from stacking superstars.
Tyrese Maxey.
Adam Silver's vision was to create a balanced NBA landscape with even the smallest market teams able to compete for the title on a more leveled playing field. In the 2025-26 season, the Thunder have only the 17th highest payroll in the league. But a few years down the road, with their great role players demanding more money, it would be impossible for them to keep them.
That's true.
Since Clay Bennett is not keen on spending too much money, he most likely won't want to be punished by the second apron tax. In theory, a few years down the road, their incredible role players would no longer be there. They would join a different team, possibly even their competitors, and it would make OKC weaker. That was what Adam Silver envisioned would happen when dynasties struggled to keep their guys together. In reality though, OKC is built different, literally. They started the season going 18-1.
Exactly. Literally 18-1 without Jalen Williams, which is our second best player. Or you can say third, depending on how Chet is playing. Without J-Dub, we were 18-1. We just lost to the freaking Blazers by 2 points because of some fucking bullshit. But yo, look at this, bro. Look at this. We're tough. Now imagine we start 19-0, dog. 19-0. We'll be 24-0 right now. No cap. Telling you, bro. Best team in the league.
Second best player, which indicates this team is so deep it doesn't matter who they lose.
Exactly.
Their dynamic offense and plethora of two-way studs seamlessly created a system where anyone could step up and flourish. Then you add on all of the aforementioned picks in their arsenal, it creates a situation that's insurmountable for any other team to compete with. And who deserves the most credit? The man himself, Sam Presti. Speaking of Sam, if you can name one difference between OKC and any other team in basketball, it's the guy in charge of all their decisions. Unlike most other GMs, Presti is cautious. He's meticulous. Just because a player plays well, he's not just gonna throw them a maximum extension. We've seen teams get burned by doing this. Think of Michael Porter Jr. and even Jamal Murray in Denver. They were both signed to massive deals simply by the fact that
Michael Porter Jr. making $108 million is fucking crazy. And he's on the Nets playing like shit. Inconsistent as hell. And we got Jamal Murray, a decent player, but not worth $210 million. Crazy work.
They were drafted by the team, and they were improving at a good pace. If Presti was the GM of the Nuggets though, I'm not sure he would have done that. Remember back in the day, he was even cautious of paying James Harden. And recently, he traded away Josh Giddey, who became a bona fide star in Chicago, in exchange for Alex Caruso.
Nah, he is hooping over there, I ain't gonna lie. But Josh Giddey is still good though.
A role player, but he fits perfectly within their team's identity.
That's facts. Because they need
Speaking of that, there's always doubters when it comes to establishing a dynasty in this league. Heck, we thought OKC 15 years ago would be the next great dynasty in sports, with their young Big Three reaching the finals at 22 to 23 years old. But that team was different. It was built on the backs of sheer talent alone, with a coach that really didn't try to implement anything, except give the ball to the stars and let them work. You remember this meme, right?
Billy Donovan?
Scott Brooks' secret
Scott
plays.
Brooks. Oh, Billy Donovan was a couple years later. I'm tweaking. Oh God, Scott Brooks is such an ass coach. He was a terrible basketball player too. Anyway.
By over-relying on just a few players, this style of play carries a lot of risk because they didn't really even have a system. And when a guy gets hurt, it could ruin an entire season.
For the first time in his career, Kevin Durant, cornerstone of that Thunder franchise, will miss an extended period of time due to injury.
The new OKC doesn't have that problem, as evident by Jalen Williams missing much of the year, and the team literally registered the highest net rating in history without him. Keep in mind, the dude's all-NBA third team and all-defensive second team. Exactly. If any other player was missing a guy...
You gotta think, J-Dub is playing the fourth position at like 6'5", bruh. Nigga's so tough, bruh.
Of his caliber, they'd obviously be much worse. But you couldn't even tell he was missing. Mark Daigneault was doubted as a young head coach, but he established a strong sense of identity on the roster, powered by ball handlers that relentlessly attack and put pressure on the defense, no matter who's on the court. Combined with Sam Presti's drafting instincts, the two of them collaborated to create arguably the greatest coach-GM duo we've seen since the Golden State Warriors dynasty. They already won 68 games and the championship, and have somehow gotten even better since then. For them, they could only get better, because they were amongst the youngest champions ever, with the hunger to keep growing, to keep winning. So which teams can actually, realistically catch up to them? It seemed like 1 or 2 years ago, the opinion was Boston would dominate the East, while the West would be a bloodbath.
The Rockets are good
but
too,
with
though.
the snap of a finger, the Celtics were forced to go an alternate route, and briefly go on hiatus from their dominance. They were already waist deep into their timeline, with their players already in their primes, and already getting paid an exorbitant amount of money. It made it very difficult to keep their team intact.
Get iPhone 17, iPad, and Apple Watch all for $0.
In fact, the Celtics were supposed to be the OKC of the East, with how well-rounded their team was and the great decisions of management. The unfortunate timing with Tatum's injury ruined their momentum, so I think that's the only way for someone to catch up to OKC. Other teams need to hope they too run into some bad luck. But if you want a real
Let's just hope nobody get injured, bruh. Hope Shea don't get injured, boss. For real. No cap, I hope you don't get injured.
answer, the Lakers have made a strong push towards becoming contenders. In particular, Austin Reeves' emergence from a solid sidekick to putting up literally superstar quality numbers.
He's hooping.
The Rockets got better, the Nuggets actually made some good trades for once, and the Spurs have finally hit their stride. There's more competition than ever in the Western Conference, yet the Thunder still stand out as the team to beat.
Facts.
However, as great as they've been, the Thunder, like all teams, have weaknesses. They are deep, but it's SGA who makes their entire game plan work. Everyone points to him having great teammates to support him, but they aren't nearly as good without Shea drawing all the attention away from the defense. His mere existence on the court, even when he's doing nothing, has such a powerful gravitational pull due to the threat of his scoring ability. We throw out the term three-level scorer a lot, but Shea truly is the perfect example of that.
Facts.
Not only is he a three-level,
He can shoot, he can drive, he's a MIDI magician. Bro, he's like if DeMar DeRozan actually fully developed and actually was you know what I'm saying? I mean, of course DeMar DeRozan is a little bit more athletic than Shea.
Well, what the hell, boy?
scorer, but he has elite efficiency from every part of the court.
That's true too.
Even his three-point shot, which he's not known for, he's shooting a career high now.
43%.
You can argue he's not as complete of a superstar as others in terms of, passing, rebounding, whatever.
Yeah.
But he doesn't need to do that because the team is built in a way his deficiencies are covered.
I ain't gonna lie, Hardenstein was such a good pickup for us too, bro. I ain't even gonna lie, bro. That was such a good pickup. Because Chet is he plays away from the basket most of the time. So bro, him, you know what I'm saying, going down low and playing the 4, you know what I'm saying, getting boards, doing putback dunks, run the pick and roll game, bro, that's really crucial for us. I ain't gonna lie.
He's also a scorer first, and the entire team is built to help him with that.
That's true
But in
too.
the moments where his teammates do get shut down, that's the biggest way to exploit this team. We've seen it in the playoffs before. Though not the same team as right now, perhaps there will be a time when their role players become too good to shut down. And when that time comes,
Because I ain't gonna lie, Jalen Williams, the Asian Duke Dennis, I'm not gonna lie, I saw him go for 20, bruh. No cap. And he's a role player, he comes off the bench. But bro, I saw him go for 20. I said, damn, off the bench too? So I ain't gonna lie, we're just a deep team. And it's everybody can score on the team. So it's no one's you know what I'm saying, limited to doing anything. The only person that can't really shoot threes on our team is Hardenstein. But he doesn't really need to even shoot unless the shot clock is at 4 and he's open for 3. But everybody else on the team can shoot threes. So it's I mean, I feel the only way we would lose is just nobody just hitting shots. No cap. Or we just can't buy a bucket,
Thunder will be impossible to stop. Anyway,
Hey, look at
that's
that.
all,
See?
folks. Let me know
Open.
your thoughts on the Oklahoma City Thunder. And do you think any team in the
Gonna go
league
hoop
can
right
catch
now.
up to them? Thank you all so much for watching. I hope
Shout out to any who's for this video. Tell me, Thunder the best team in the league. Mazin Members, let me know what you guys' favorite team is in the league and how are you guys doing as a team. But we know the Thunder 23-1 as of today right now. We're 23-1. We're the best team in the league. And yeah, we're kind of impossible to stop. Let's just see what happens. I think we're gonna go 74-8. we're gonna win the championship. If you guys want some more basketball reactions, let me know in the comments, or what videos I should react to next. I'll see you guys in the next reaction. MarMazin out.